just to put yourself into the mood of the service. And as we begin our service, Reverend Carol will invite our singing bowl to sing.
Good evening, everyone. It's awesome to see you all here this evening. As our bowl sings to us this evening, let us gather in a sort of attitude of joyful sound, because this evening we're going to sing a lot. It will be easy. You will not have to stand up. It will not be complicated, but we are going to sing and have beautiful music. So I invite you, as the bowl sounds, to begin to just allow yourself to move into your senses: sound, sight, the sensations of the Christmas service.
Chris Edkins will light our chalice as we begin this evening. And as our chalice is lighted, I would like to share these words written by Dan Lambert and appearing on the UUA's worship web. This is called Fellow Sojourners. We gather together on this Christmas Eve as fellow sojourners, looking for light, for hope, for peace, and for love. We gather as people from many backgrounds, many faiths, many cultures, and many spiritual paths. But as we light this chalice, we gather as one body, looking to the Nativity for its message to all humanity. Its message is that there is light, there is hope, there is peace, and there is love.
So this evening in our service, what we're going to do is we're going to alternate the story of the Christmas Nativity from readings from the Christian scriptures and songs that are familiar to us, all of us, from whether it's from the mall or from your childhood or from things that you sang with your family. Because, as Ellen was just saying, Christmas is a special time regardless of what traditions we follow. Whether we are earth-based or Christian or secular humanist, there are messages in this story that are important for all of us to remember and hold close. The story and the songs that honor it carry messages that we can embrace throughout the year, not just one night or 2 days of the year. So tonight, Ellen and I will be taking turns reading and talking about this story, and you all, your part is going to be to join in on the Christmas carols. The story this evening is taken from the books of Luke and Matthew in the Christian scriptures.
The birth of Jesus. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration and was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to the city of David, called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged, and who was expecting a child. And now let's sing the first verse of A Little Town of Bethlehem. If you have a hymnal there, it is on page 246.
And you don't need to stand up. You can stay right where you are.
Yep. Still
So each of these songs has words or lines in it that can help us understand the meaning of the Christmas story, regardless of what traditions we come from. The phrase in that song is the hopes and fears of all the years. Now think about that. That's a pretty powerful phrase. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. Certainly the main characters in the story, this young family, must have been holding a lot of both hope and fear at that moment in their lives. And it seems like at Christmas time, even in the secular traditions, we're really focused at this time of year on hope overcoming fear, on love overcoming disconnection. And we really try to commit ourselves to creating experiences of beauty, abundance, and joy that during our mundane day-to-day lives, we really don't necessarily expect at the same level.
While they were there, this would be Mary and Joseph, while they were there, the time came for her to deliver her child. And she gave birth to her firstborn son and wrapped him in bands of cloth and laid him in a manger because there was no place in the guest room. Now in that same region there were shepherds living in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. Then an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people. To you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is the Messiah, the Lord." And the song that echoes this passage is number 246 in your hymnal, the first Noel. Okay. I just read my script. It's 237.
Yeah, and the scriptwriter did it wrong.
That's quite
She
all
takes
right.
full responsibility. 237.
237. And we will sing the first two verses.
So what's striking about this particular part of the story to me is this message to not be afraid. The message comes down when they're terrified and says, don't be afraid. Instead, look at the miracle that's happening. Pay attention. We see these shepherds who are ordinary working folk doing what they do to survive, being called to focus on the miraculous birth of the child. The star invites them to look up towards the vast expanse of the sky and the universe, serving as a reminder to hold a bigger perspective, to remember that the possibility of something we don't understand or can't yet really see or grasp might be possible. Well, how do we do these things? How do we hold to hope in times of fear or darkness? How do we keep our eyes on the bigger picture? The story tells us the best way to do this is to pay attention to everyday miracles, the birth of a child, the generosity of humble people, and the warmth of human connection.
And the angel continued, "This will be a sign for you. You will find a child wrapped in bands of cloth and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace among those whom he favors." In the Christmas carol, Angels We Have Heard on High, we hear not just humans, but all of creation celebrating together this miraculous birth. Please join in singing all 3 verses of this beloved carol with us, and it is number 231 in your hymnal.
Okay, so how often in your daily life do you hear the phrase, in excelsis Deo, right? How often in our daily lives do we let ourselves feel that sort of gratitude and exaltation? How many of you got up when you had your morning coffee and went, "Whoa"? That is not something we do on a day-to-day basis. How often do you sing with a full heart of hope and praise and thoroughly saying yes to the world around you, despite all its problems and errors and struggles and imperfections? At Christmas time, we tend to be much more willing to say ooh and ah. We tend to cultivate a more enthusiastic attitude than during the rest of the year. Only that could make people do what they do in Turkey Creek this time of year, right? There's a lot of enthusiasm out there and a lot of persistence. But we don't cultivate that all year long. We don't. How many of you have noticed that during the holiday season, if you're in the store and there are 5,000 people in the store, people are nicer to each other often this time of year than other times of year? Like, oh, I was trapped in gridlock in Turkey Creek yesterday for an hour and a half in one parking lot. And everybody was happily smiling at each other and waving and sitting in their car. Very few people were being very grumpy about it. It was impressive. We don't do that the rest of the year, but what if we cultivated that sort of attitude 365 days of the year? What if we cultivated the willingness to praise small things throughout the year? And what if we encouraged one another to have that sort of attitude all the time? Our story continues with the idea of spreading the word about keeping this kind of attitude.
When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go now to Bethlehem and see this thing which has taken place, which the Lord has made known to us." So they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the babe lying in the manger. When they saw this, they made known what had been told them about the child. And all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds told them. And now we're going to sing the first verse of Go Tell It on the Mountain, which is number 239 in your hymnal. Okay, so here's our question based on this part of the story. What do you usually go out and shout from the mountaintops? Hello. Well, if you're, yes, that's a Dr. Zeus thing to shout. But what is it in our day-to-day lives that we usually spend the most energy proclaiming and shouting about? Is it the cool, small miracles? Or is it the stuff we're not very happy about? How much of our shouting from the mountaintops is about what's wrong with the world, what's not working, and what we don't like? And how much time and energy do we spend shouting from the mountaintop about what's right in the world, about what's beautiful and miraculous and possible? It's much easier to focus on the things that upset us than on those little small miracles that happen almost unnoticed every day. But aren't those small miracles actually the source of much of our peace and hope? Please be honest and raise your hands if you watch pet videos or stream YouTubes of laughing babies when you're down. Everybody's got their little things that they use to lift their spirits. So, in fact, often it is the simplest things. The cat that sits on our lap, the flower blooming in the yard, the smile from a stranger at the grocery store. Those small miracles are, in fact, what keep us hopeful. And maybe the part of this story that's important is that we could be shouting those from the mountaintops all the time. Now, the next part of the story invites us to have some wisdom, because we know that not everything's all roses and sunshine. We know that the world is mixed with struggle and beauty. So the next part of the story helps us understand some wisdom about balancing the bad and the good. Here we see three wise men navigating the tension between the miraculous, simple birth of a child and the political drama of the day. In the time of the King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem asking, "Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we have observed his star at its rising and have come to pay him homage." Then when King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him. And calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. And they told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet." Then Herod secretly called for the wise men, and he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word, so that I may also go and pay him homage." When they had heard the king, they set out, and there ahead of them went the star that they had seen at its rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then, opening their treasure chest, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they left for their own country by another road. And now let's sing together the song that speaks about this part of the Christmas story, "We Three Kings," which is on number 259 in your hymnals. And we'll just sing the first verse on this one.
So the wise men know very well that King Herod is not the good guy in this story, right? They know he means this small family harm. And they have to figure out how to honor the new birth while still navigating the political drama of their day safely. They literally have to find a new path home to ensure their own safety. But first, they do something that is central to the Christmas story. They bring gifts to show their commitment to the good, to the new, to the miraculous. Now, one of the pieces of wisdom that the Christmas story offers is that it takes courage and daring and generosity to make the world a better place. We have to be willing to commit ourselves in spite of fear to support hope in real and material ways. The owner of the manger lets the family stay. The shepherds risk leaving their flocks to attend to the birth. The kings have to avoid the will of a despot in order to follow that bright star and bring gifts to the family. All of them do things that are outside their comfort zone in order to support hope and possibility that is presented in this small, miraculous birth. So one of the things that we try to do to live the Christmas story every year is we try to live the values of the year. So this year we're going to do something that we don't usually do on our Sunday services. So Jerry and Alice, I'm going to ask you to get those collection plates. We're actually going to pass collection plates. And I have a charge to all of you. You do not have to have cash to put in this collection plate. You do not have to have cash to put in this collection plate. If you have cash, that is great. That is awesome. But here's what I want you to do. I want every single person, I invite you to hold that collection plate. And even if you don't put cash in that collection plate, which this at Christmas Eve always goes to the minister's discretionary fund. It is the fund that we use to support the work in the community that goes unnoticed behind the scenes. It's the small little miracles, like helping someone pay their rent, paying a medical bill for someone in the community or the congregation. But here's what I invite you to do. Don't just quickly pass it along. Be brave and hold it for a second, and even if you're not putting cash in the plate, hold it for a second and breathe into your heart the intention to continue to live bravely and generously in the world, whatever that means to you. The Christmas story tells us that praising everyday miracles can bring hope in dark times, that committing ourselves heart, mind, and resources to justice and beauty grows the common good, and that it's wise to hold on to these things even in the face of the most challenging circumstances. What we learned finally is that when we can do these things, we may find true joy.
We're going to sing the first two verses of the UU version of Joy to the World, which is number 245 in our hymnal. You'll notice that the words are different from the original carol and help us understand the deeper UU values embedded in this part of the story. And you may notice that some of us, myself especially, will have a difficult time singing the correct words.
In the Christmas tradition, the traditional words to that song say, "Joy to the world, the Lord is come." But clearly this song is edited for UU congregations. In our hymnal, the word is that the Word is come, but what in the world does that mean? Theologian Howard Thurman. When the song of angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, and the shepherds are back with their flock, the work of Christmas then begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among the brothers, and not last, not least, to bring music in the heart. The miracle of Christmas doesn't just exist in the special few days or weeks surrounding the December holiday. Instead, it lasts as long as we live these values. It lives as long as we commit ourselves to praising the miraculous in the ordinary, as long as we allow hope to win out over fear, and as long as we find the wisdom to see both the suffering and the beautiful in the world. Our closing song reminds us to hold this hurting world as sacred, as holy, and full of potential. Our closing of our candlelight service every year is that we will sing Silent Night. We're only going to sing the first verse. You know the words. You won't need hymnals. We're just going to sing that first verse over and over again a few times as light spreads from candle to candle through the room. So Ellen and I were thinking about this before the service, and we thought, it'd be kind of nice if you all would be brave enough to stand up and come closer together for this part of the service. Because when we're all spread out, the light is a little more spread out. But if you're willing to come all kind of up towards the front while we do this, it'll be much more obvious how much our light, when put together, makes a difference. So just continue singing as long as we want to. So take a moment to simply look around the room. Notice that we're a small group. but we still make a lot of light. We're not a perfect group, but we still have a lot of hope. We are not the ones who can solve everything, but we can make a difference. And when we choose to use our voices and the light within us, we can, in fact, change the world, or at least our little corner of it. So I hope that you all have a wonderful Merry Christmas, and remember that what this holiday reminds us to do is keep hope despite fear, beauty and joy despite struggles and ugliness, and remember to celebrate the miracle that is every day of our lives. Go in peace, go in passion for the love and beauty and joy that is the gift of life. May it be so.